China sets ambitious 2029 target for first crewed moon landing. Beijing, China has unveiled an ambitious plan to land its first crewed mission on the moon by 2029, a timeline considered credible by space experts, given the nation's rapid advancements in space technology. This audacious goal, timed to coincide with the 80th anniversary of the People's Republic of China, marks a significant step in China's burgeoning space program and its quest for global technological leadership. The mission represents a substantial undertaking, requiring a coordinated effort involving three crucial elements: a heavy-lift launch vehicle, a crewed spacecraft, and a dedicated lunar lander. Unlike many ambitious space exploration timelines, which often encounter delays and setbacks, China's 2029 target is viewed with a higher degree of confidence based on the country's demonstrable progress in robotic lunar missions and its ongoing development of the necessary hardware. While success is never guaranteed in such complex endeavors, the ambitious timeline reflects China's unwavering commitment to becoming a major player in lunar exploration. The mission's initial lunar surface operations are planned to be relatively short, approximately 6 to 8 hours, primarily focused on scientific exploration, sample collection, and conducting experiments. This initial crewed landing serves as a crucial stepping stone towards even more ambitious long-term lunar objectives. China details technological roadmap for 2029 moon landing. Beijing, China has detailed the technological infrastructure underpinning its ambitious 2029 crewed moon landing. Central to the plan is the Long March 10 heavy-lift rocket, currently under development with a planned test flight in 2027. This three-stage rocket, incorporating existing Chinese rocket technology and the YF-100 kerosene engine, is designed to deliver a substantial 27 metric tons of payload to lunar orbit. Its design bears a striking resemblance to SpaceX's Falcon Heavy, employing two liquid-fueled side boosters in addition to a central core booster, each equipped with 7 YF-100 engines. A key innovation involves a propulsive landing system using tethers instead of landing legs for booster recovery, a departure from the traditional approach. The crewed spacecraft, known as Mango, will be China's largest crew capsule to date, designed to support a 3-person crew on a round-trip lunar mission. Having undergone an uncrewed test flight in 2020, it's expected to enter full operational status in 2027. Finally, the lunar lander, Lano, also weighing approximately 26 tons, will facilitate the descent and ascent of 2 astronauts to the lunar surface. The mission requires 2 Long March 10 launches, one for the spacecraft and one for the lander, with a rendezvous and docking in lunar orbit for crew transfer before the lunar landing. This multifaceted approach highlights China's commitment to mastering all critical aspects of crewed lunar exploration. China unveils advanced technologies for lunar exploration and base construction. Beijing, China's ambitious lunar program extends beyond a simple crewed landing, encompassing the development of advanced technologies to support future lunar missions and the eventual construction of a permanent lunar base. A new generation lunar extravehicular activity (EVA) spacesuit, recently showcased in a public demonstration featuring mobility tests such as walking and squatting, promises enhanced astronaut mobility on the lunar surface. This suit will be crucial for extended exploration activities. Complementing the spacesuit, a compact, 2-person lunar rover capable of operating over a 10-kilometer range will significantly enhance surface exploration capabilities. The centerpiece of China's long-term lunar strategy is the International Lunar Research Station, ILRS, a robotic base planned for the lunar South Pole. This ambitious project, currently slated for construction in the 2030s, will involve a series of 5 robotic missions, ILRS 1 to 5, between 2031 and 2035, progressively establishing the base's infrastructure. A key technological advancement will be the use of 3D printing to utilize lunar regolith soil as construction material for building basic structures, marking a pioneering step in situ resource utilization, ISRU. This innovative approach will drastically reduce the reliance on Earth-based resources for lunar construction, a critical factor for sustained lunar operations. The ILRS, with planned capabilities encompassing scientific research, resource utilization, and astronomical observation, represents a bold vision for China's enduring presence on the moon. China's lunar ambitions, outpacing Artemis and fostering international collaboration. Beijing, China's aggressive lunar exploration program presents a stark contrast to the slower progress and uncertainties surrounding NASA's Artemis program. While Artemis faces significant delays and questions about its timeline for achieving crewed lunar landings and base construction, China's consistent successes in robotic lunar missions demonstrate a clear technological lead. The highly successful Chang'e 6 mission, which achieved the first-ever sample return from the moon's far side, showcases China's advanced capabilities in precision landing, sample collection, and autonomous spacecraft operations. This success underscores the maturity of China's space program. The upcoming Chang'e 7 and 8 missions, both targeting the lunar South Pole to investigate water ice deposits, are pivotal steps in assessing the feasibility of using lunar resources for future missions. The presence of water ice is crucial for producing oxygen for breathing and hydrogen for fuel, greatly reducing the reliance on Earth-based supplies. While initially envisioned as a joint project with Russia, the International Lunar Research Station, ILRS, is increasingly becoming a truly international endeavor, with China actively recruiting partner nations. This collaborative approach aims to leverage global expertise and resources to establish a long-term sustainable lunar presence. China's progress suggests it is well positioned to potentially achieve its crewed lunar landing goal before the Artemis program, establishing a significant presence on the moon. China's Long March 9, a super heavy-lift rocket crucial for lunar base ambitions. Beijing, China's long-term lunar ambitions, including the construction of the International Lunar Research Station, ILRS, hinge on the development of a super heavy-lift launch vehicle, the Long March 9. Initial designs for this rocket, first announced in 2011, have undergone significant revisions. Early concepts envisioned a massive rocket with 4 side boosters, but recent iterations have shifted towards a fully reusable 2-stage design, closely resembling SpaceX's Starship. This design change reflects a strategic shift towards reusable launch technology, acknowledging the cost-effectiveness and efficiency demonstrated by SpaceX's advancements. The latest iteration of the Long March 9, a fully reusable 2-stage rocket, is designed to drastically reduce launch costs and enable more frequent lunar missions. While the exact specifications remain subject to ongoing development, the rocket's design prioritizes reusability, echoing the technological path chosen by SpaceX. The ability to reliably transport substantial payloads, including construction materials, scientific equipment, and life support systems, to the moon is paramount for establishing and sustaining the ILRS. The successful development and deployment of the Long March 9 will be critical for China's continued progress toward establishing a permanent self-sustaining lunar base, marking a significant step towards achieving its broader space exploration goals. The ongoing evolution of the Long March 9 design highlights China's commitment to innovation and the pursuit of cost-effective reusable launch technology. China moon race dawning. It's been something of an afterthought since the U.S. Apollo program ended in December of 1972, but the moon is moving into the public spotlight again. What's becoming clear is that a new moon race is well underway, one with plenty of participants, but one most pointedly pitting China against the U.S. The competition has a different character than it had in the now distant past. It's become more a long-running endurance race and less the clearly defined sprint it was in the 1960s, when fear of Sputnik tended to unite sentiment in the U.S. In the U.S. today, as opposed political parties slot in and out, the where and when of U.S. space targets are in constant flux, according to a China expert and tech strategy analyst. Do we go to Mars or the moon? Author Dean Cheng asked as he discussed his China and the New Moon Race in a book launch and lecture at the Space Policy Institute in Washington, D.C. When you think back over the last 5 administrations, he said, how often have we gone back and forth over what should we focus on? In effect, the moon and Mars have vied as objectives. As Donald J. Trump returns to the White House, the balance between moon and Mars efforts will be tested anew. This is especially so since Moon and Mars rocket pioneer Elon Musk appears a constant murmur in Trump's ear. Meanwhile, in Cheng's estimation, Chinese space exploration has a more pointed and profound tenor. That is because it is seen at home as a strategic national priority touching on all aspects of national power: political, diplomatic, cultural, and technological. Cheng emphasized that China's space strategy is sustained, systematic, and strategic. That's as the U.S. finds it very difficult to sustain interest in space, said Cheng, who has served as an analyst for the Heritage Foundation and the U.S. Office of Tech Assessment, and participated in a user group associated with the National Space Council. Set the controls for the lunar South Pole. Conservatives steady as it goes. China's space planning may be moving ahead at an increased rate. Last year, China's Chang'e 6 mission succeeded in landing on the moon's far side and then returning moon rocks to Earth. An effort to place astronauts on the moon is clearly afoot. According to Cheng, the People's Republic's recent space white papers show a plan to dominate space technology, particularly that related to communications and logistics, while other announcements disclose a speeded-up moon station effort. All of a sudden, the Chinese came out and said, "We are going to land a Chinese set of astronauts on the moon by 2030, Cheng said. And so it's worth thinking about just why it is that the Chinese have broken their own past mold with the announcement of their current planned lunar landing mission. Recent white papers disclose China's interest in exploring the lunar South Pole, a region thought to be rich in potential resources, including water ice and helium-3. A better sense of China's moon ambition may add new clarity to U.S. space planning that has often bordered on befuddled. Last month, outgoing NASA Administrator Bill Nelson, while announcing significant delays in the U.S.'s Artemis moon mission, said it was vital for us to land on the South Pole so that we do not cede portions of that lunar South Pole to the Chinese.